What's happening, guys? Aruj again, and today we're talking about other patterns of inheritance. Specifically, we're going to talk about incomplete dominance and codominance. So what we've seen before, what we've already covered, was called complete dominance. Sometimes you'll hear that called Mendelian genetics, because Gregor Mendel was the one who discovered this pattern. Okay, but what complete dominance is, it's when a dominant gene completely masks or overpowers the recessive gene. Okay, and we saw this a lot with the pea plants. So for example, a red trait plus a white trait, the red will be dominant and overpower the white. This is the pattern that we saw before. Okay, so for example, if we were to create a Punnett square with a homozygous dominant red flower with a homozygous recessive white flower, we would get offspring that would still come out red, theoretically, if this were the case. Okay, this is not what we're covering today. What we're covering today is incomplete and codominance, those patterns of inheritance. So let's take a look at incomplete dominance. Incomplete dominance is when an in-between phenotype is expressed in a heterozygous individual. So for example, red plus white equals pink. Let's say I take red paint and white paint and mix them together, I'll get pink paint. That's an in-between variation, sometimes called an intermediate. So here's a visual for you. In snapdragons, if I take a homozygous dominant flower and a homozygous white flower and I cross those together, I will get a pink flower. Okay, the heterozygous will be pink. Now, why is this? Why does this occur? Well, you see, in the red flowers, DNA codes for proteins. And in the red flower, this codes for a protein that makes a red pigment. And this flower happens to have 2 copies of that. If I look at the white flower, in the white flower, that gene to code for that red pigment is broken. It's damaged. So this bad boy does not get any red pigment. However, when you look at the pink flower has 1 trait to produce that red pigment, and the other one is broken. So it's only getting half of that pigment. It's only getting half of that. So it comes out lighter. It's not as rich. Okay? So again, in an incomplete dominance, you get a trait that's in between. Think red mixed with white gives you pink. Moving on to codominance. Codominance. This prefix right here, co, this prefix means together. Okay? So if you play video games and you play co-op mode, you are playing together with other individuals. That's what co-op mode is. So codominance is when both traits are expressed equally in a heterozygous individual. Again, co means together. Since both are dominant, one does not overpower the other, a capital letter is used for each trait. Okay? So in a pattern of codominance, red plus white equals both red and white expressed together. Okay? So, to show you a Punnett square of that, we are not going to use a lowercase r for the white trait because the white is also expressed. Okay? So each flower would both be red and white together, so we use both RW to show those alleles. Okay? And this is an example of codominance. That was it for today, folks, and make sure that all that gets in your notes, and I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.